Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. Today we talked about Kaizer Chiefs beating their first Netherlands team, PSC Zwolle. This is a team that Amakhosi had started excelling in before he moved to, I think, is it PSV Eindhoven or no, Feyenoord. So this was a very good team, good test for Chiefs, and I want to talk about it because there's a lot of positives about this game that I picked up. But before we get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe. Buffet, the game was a good game. I think from a Kaizer Chiefs, this is the first game we really handled our own. We really didn't feel like we are playing a European team. This felt like we felt like we were a big team. We played like a big team. And I say this with a pinch of salt because we played well, but I'm worried if we think that the squad we have is a finished product. Because I will never take away from the fact that we played well. But the only thing I want to say is that I think we need one more striker to compete with Duba. Mabaso, I mentioned it in the previous game. He came in the second half. He showed us more of what he has. Played well. The left back, Ngwesa, played really well. You could see there was nerves, but he felt more composed. And it felt like there's more options when he's on the ball. That was just my first initial view of it. Mfundo Vilakazi played well. The one thing I want to say about Mfundo Vilakazi is maybe it's just me, but I am not too much of a fan. But anyway, before I get to it, please like, comment, and subscribe if I haven't said it before. But maybe it's just me, but with Mfundo Vilakazi, I don't think I'm a fan of him playing too far on the left. I don't know why. On the right. Because I want him closer to the box. Because that guy knows how to shoot. And I feel like sometimes he finds himself isolated on the right side of the field. And he can't really find ways to get closer to the box. But you see, when he gets close to the edge of the area, I think he becomes more creative. He can make plans in small areas. But when he's playing with the line sometimes, I don't know. He just feels like he doesn't have enough options. And that's what I'm picking up about Mfundo Vilakazi. But he had a good game, almost scored a goal. Actually, he should have scored more goals. He should have actually had one goal. He had good chances. But let's talk about the first half. I don't want to rush. I just got excited. First half, let's talk about Flavio. Flavio had a very good chance. He had a one-on-one and lacked composure. Flavio, his first shot at goal, his first most decent shot for Kaizer Chiefs, he took it like, I don't know what. He didn't take it like a top quality striker. He took it like Abo Duba and Abo Hlongwane when they first get a Kaizer Chiefs chance and then they're like, I'm going to blast the keeper. That's what it looked like, and it just didn't look good. Flavio struggles with his first touches. That's one thing I'm picking up about his game. So I was chatting to someone, and that someone is my brother. I was chatting to him, and the one thing my brother said is like, one thing about Flavio. He thinks that Flavio is not the kind of player you need to, who needs to have too many touches and stuff. He may mess up your gameplay, etc. But you need to find him in the box. You need to test what he can do in the box because he has the movement. You just need to find him in the box. And as soon as my brother said that Flavio got a one-on-one and we saw what happened there, then I was like, Flavio does, I feel more confident in Kaizer Chiefs when Duba and Hlongwane are there more than I do when Flavio is there. But at the same time, I think Flavio may be a Kingston Nkata. That's what I'm seeing from Flavio. The first half, Shinga, I won't say the greatest of games, but okay game. Monyani, solid game. The wingers struggle with Monyani's recovery and pace. The wingers are going to struggle. Like if Monyani is fit this whole season, hey Nabi, what are you gonna do about Frosla and Monyani? Because Monyani's recovery, Buffett. Like I know Monyani's recovery is real. Like that guy. Like fast players just struggle with him. I don't know why. Frosler, but for us, I think the one thing you can take away between the comparison of Frosler and Monyani is that Frosler is just a defender. Like he knows how to position himself. He may not always be the fastest player, but in terms of defensive intelligence, I don't think I think Frosler will always come ahead of Monyani, because Monyani sometimes gives people too much space because he trusts his pace. And yeah, Frosler is a different beast there. Aiden McCarthy, I want to give props. Solid performance. I think he played 90 minutes. Aiden McCarthy played. You know, the crazy thing about Aiden McCarthy, and I'm going to say this is going to sound wild, but I feel like Miguel enjoys playing with Aiden, because Aiden McCarthy is very comfortable on the ball. And I think it gives Miguel... makes him comfortable. It makes Miguel comfortable. I think that's why Miguel also enjoyed playing with Dudley a lot. But... yeah, you know, like Aiden is showing some good qualities. I'll have to give him props. He's showing some good qualities. Nobo had a decent first half. He was working. I have not seen this Nobo before, and I'm not gonna lie. I have not seen this Nobo. Even the Nobo that we knew who was playing well in the previous years, the work rate of this Nobo is on another level. And I'm impressed, even though there were many occasions where he lost the ball in important positions, and that scared me so many times, because losing the ball in the middle, like as a defensive midfielder, losing the ball carelessly is a very dangerous thing. And that's the one negative of Nobo's game. And the reason why I say this is because Bafetu Mabaso played the same role as Nobo, and I can't remember a lot of moments where he lost the ball. The only thing that I just want to see from Mabaso is when Mabaso is paired with Ndlovu, and when Mabaso is paired with Tabocele. Because Mabaso knows how to move the ball, but I think he just needs the complementary players around him. Because when he came... okay, I'm getting excited, but let me not talk about Mabaso for now. Lilepo is Lilepo. Solid performance, Lilepo's pace. The only thing I want to take away from Lilepo is we know he has a shot and a half. We know he has quality. But when a half finishes and Lilepo is not... I don't think even took one shot at goal, I have a problem with that. I need Lilepo to make a plan. I need Lilepo to take that shot, because out of most of our attackers, Lilepo is the one with the quality in terms of technique. Lilepo just needs to find himself more in positions where he can score. And then Mtetwa, I think Mtetwa had a decent showing. I think it was this was my personal opinion, his best game of the tour, because I don't know if it's because PS Zwali didn't pressure him, but I won't lie, Chiefs really played decent football. Like, no one can go away from this game and say Chiefs played horribly. No, Kaizer Chiefs really played well, and they played from the back. There was a sequence where they just outplayed PS Zwali's press like I don't know what, and it was impressive. The only thing I worry about is that you need the right kind of players on the park to do it consistently, because the thing about that type of play is that if you become really good at it, if you practice it enough times, teams become intimidated to press you too quickly, and it gives you more freedom. So I think the more we work on it, the better we can get. Brandon Peterson didn't get much shots that he troubled him, so I can't really talk too much about the keeper. Our keepers weren't too busy today. Yes, there were some scares, but they weren't too busy, I won't lie. Second half came in. We scored the goal. Du Shabalala, I think his best moment of the game was there. Du Shabalala's best moment in this game was the shot he took at goal. Because Du Shabalala in the first half, he just was not finding himself. He was losing the ball in very bad areas, and he just wasn't giving us he wasn't helping us advance the ball as much as I'd like. So that's the only comment I have about him too. He was in the spaces, but if the ball arrived to him, the ball sometimes went backwards too much. I don't know what was happening. But yeah, second half, we scored that lovely goal. Shongwane, strikers mentality, follow up after a shot, solid goal, solid finish. Shongwane, I'm impressed. Well done, boy. Yeah, you know, during the last video I made, I said to someone, I don't understand why Nabi would bring Lilepo as a striker and play Hlongwane as a winger when this is the moment Hlongwane needs to show himself as a striker. And look at the moment you put Hlongwane where he's meant to be. Look, he just anticipated that Mtu is going to shoot and he already made the run to take the follow-up. And that's why I'm saying, sometimes when you play these young boys, especially our strikers, out of position, these are the moments you don't get to see. Because if he was playing as a winger in that moment, he was never going to have that follow-up to score. But because he's a striker, and Hlongwane, if you have watched him, he's a pickup player. Like, he finds a space, he finds a pocket. He's a nifty little striker. When I say nifty, I'm like, he looks for the ball. Like, he's always looking around. He's always making a movement. And that's how he gets his goals. He doesn't always score because you've created the most amazing goal for him. He scores because he puts himself in positions of advantage. And that's what he did in this game in many instances. So I'm impressed with Hlongwane. I think he's a natural replacement for Duba. Duba came on and Duba did Duba things. So I'm glad Duba is back. You can still tell his fitness is not there, but he looks like our number one striker. I won't lie. He's carrying an aura of the number one striker. So I don't understand how Flavio can... Yeah, if Flavio is coming to sit bench, then I think that's a worrying sight. But yeah, second half was good. Chislett finally got to see him. I'm impressed. I'm happy with what I saw. Movement. He finds Serino Bafeto. I think Serino got some of his best chances playing with Chislett. Chislett finds Serino. Chislett's movement is actually quite decent. Like, yeah, you can tell he's getting used to his players. You can tell he's starting to understand Nabi's play. Chislett showed me good signs today. I'm happy with what I saw. And the thing about Chislett is that he's an advancing striker. He's almost a second striker if you think about it. He almost plays the 10 that is more a second striker kind of thing, because he's not going to be that 10 who's going to have assists all the time, but it's that 10 who's going to advance the ball, like make sure that the ball gets into the last third. So that's the one thing I liked about him. I think that Mabaso is doing what I expect from a youngster who wants to play first team football. I'm scared to see one day if Nabi plays Mabaso, Tele, and Ndlovu together. I honestly think we will dominate a lot of midfields with those three. If we have like Ndlovu as a 6 and Thabo Tele and Mabaso in front of him, we're going to kill people, I'm telling you. But yeah, that was pretty much the team. Solid performances also in the second half. Another shout out to Aiden McCarthy, played well. Nkwesa had a good debut for Chiefs. I think we had a proper decent performance. We actually had a lot of shots at goal. We could have beaten this team 3-4 now, honestly, which is why we do need that striker, and we weren't tested defensively too much. So the other thing is that I still feel like we need the goalkeeper. We need a goalkeeper and the midfielders. I still feel like if we can get like a Lebogang Maboy in there, or a Faisal Saloom, if we can get those guys, like just if we can top up with those two strikers and maybe that TS Galaxy striker, because I don't see any other option, or Robert Poliveka. If we back up with those guys, I think we'll have a good team going forward. But yeah, other than that, good team performance. Tomorrow I'm going to try and make a video about Matt, just to celebrate that what was about Matt, our captain. So all the best for our captain. But I want to say this is our best performance so far, and this performance gave me confidence. So well done to Kaizer Chiefs. There weren't a lot of negatives I can pick up. Well done to Nabi and the technical team. The team is playing very good movement, good fluid football. The ball is staying a lot more with us as the team. Actually, even a shout out to Matlo. He had his best game actually. Since we've been on the tour, Matlo had his best game. Well done to Matlo. And the one thing I wanted to say, which I mentioned before, is that I wanted us to also have some weaker opposition, not just play strong opposition. And that was from a standpoint of, I think you've seen it with Hugo Bros. Hugo Bros knows that he can't just go and play France and play Morocco and stuff like that. You need to build the team, and you need to know how to beat the small teams. You need to know how to beat the small teams. So I've never had a problem. I feel like Chiefs can beat the big teams. The players step up to the plate of big teams. It's these small teams that take points from us that shouldn't be happening. And that's why I still feel like we should have mixed a smaller teams, maybe even if it's like a Swaziland, like a Botswana team, a Namibia team, in as part of our preseason. I think that would have been important, just so we put our Chiefs against a team that they are not intimidated by. Because for Nabi, you need to see the level of your players in season. Do they drop their level to a weaker team, or do they force themselves to keep a high standard even with a weak team? Because that was our problem last season. Our problem last season is that when it came to Sundowns, Pirates, and Staleys, we lifted our performances to match these teams. Pound for pound, we lifted our performance. Even though we didn't have the quality, we lifted our performance. But when we faced Amakhosi, when we faced Polokwane City, when we faced the teams that are below us or at least on our level, whatever, we took these teams for granted. And that's why I just wanted to Nabi to also find the teams where we really are dominant on the ball and we were forced to unlock and forced to people to attack us from the back. Because that's what we saw in the second half. When we were starting to press high, these teams PEC Zwali would knock the ball behind and we started having problems because we were playing a high line. And in the PSL, we're going to be exposed to that more than in Europe, because the Europe teams are not planning for Chiefs. They are playing their own games when they get to Chiefs. But when you get to the PSL, most of the smaller teams are going to sit back and wait for Chiefs. And if you have not encountered that in season, you can't just expect to arrive at that game and dominate that team when you have not forced yourself to play that kind of team. So that's the reason. I know a lot of you guys like, no, you can't just play the weaker teams. No, you must mix it up. You must mix it up between a good team, a bad team, because you win the league by beating the small teams. Like if the league is 30 games, and we lose and let's say we lose one game to Pirates and one game to Sundowns, but we win all the other games, then we win the league, because then we're gonna have about 28 wins. And that 28 wins means that we beat the small teams. So our biggest problem is accumulation of points, and that starts with these small teams. We need to take the points from these small teams. Amakhosi for that.